Kayla. To introduce our guest speaker is Senior Class President Matt Butler.
Thanks, Ms. Hazlett. Our class selected a teacher who's been with us all 4 years, and we've had some great memories in his classes, and he's just an all-around swell guy. He's tolerated all of our crap, and we appreciate you a lot, Mr. Collins, so I'd like to introduce Mr. Collins for the commencement speech.
All right, thank you. Thank you, Matt, for that kind introduction. Good morning, senior class of 2020, surrounded by you, parents, family, friends, and Highland staff. To begin, I would really like to thank the seniors for asking me to speak today. It truly is an honor to speaking at your graduation. I would be remiss not to mention that your graduation is taking place at a very strange time in history. The COVID-19 pandemic and social unrest have dominated the headlines. No doubt these are trying times. I still find it hard to get my head around the circumstance of the pandemic. It came on so quickly. 1 minute, we were looking at the end of the third quarter of the school year, and then it seems like, well, the dam broke. The news and effects of its arrival came fast and furious. The NBA season, March Madness were canceled, concerts canceled, schools put on a 2-week hiatus, then postponed for a month, and then finally canceled. It was like someone hit the pause button, or the fourth quarter was called because of lightning and not rescheduled. All of this was done to save lives and limit the exposure to a highly contagious and unseen killer whose effects run the gamut from the barely noticeable to the life-threatening and life-taking. These are weird times, and unfortunately, we're not done with it yet. This pandemic has taken away many traditions that high school seniors get to enjoy as part of the graduation ritual. Spring sports ended quickly, summer sports delayed, competitions canceled, a month delay in your graduation ceremony. I'm guessing that even your graduation party planning has changed dramatically. However, there is one tradition that you have not only kept alive, but surpassed all expectations and will end up setting a record that hopefully will never be equaled. The longest senior skip day ever. Social distancing, quarantining, Zoom, hand sanitizer, wearing a mask, toilet paper shortages became the new normal. And I don't want to dwell on the negative because while this is not quite the occasion you expected, it is the one you have. It is an adjustment to the circumstances that we are in. If you did not appreciate certain little things, just like seeing your friends, going to the movies, or going out to eat before, you probably do now. Heck, some of you that choose to be parents will probably be interviewed by your kids about these days as part of some future school project. Hopefully, your answer won't be just telling epic stories about domination in Madden or Call of Duty, or binge watching Stranger Things for the 4th time, or watching The Last Dance in one day. But if they are, oh well, we'll get through this, but there's no turning back the clock, and change will happen as a result. As to the students of the class of 2020, I have to say I've really enjoyed having them in class. Thanks to scheduling, I've had a ringside seat to their growth as students. Some in this class have spent 3.5 of their 4 high school years in my classroom. They are a great group of kids. I have lectured them, laughed with them, and yes, sometimes I have yelled at them. One early memory of them is as freshmen, when they were having their first class meeting. Imagine a herd of cats, say around 45 to 50. Put them in an enclosed classroom. Now teach them to speak loudly. Let loose a scurry of squirrels in the room, just for added distraction. Then have them try to make a decision about what their t-shirt should say or what their homecoming float should look like. It was painful. And yet here they are. 4 years later, they have grown older and matured. Well, most of them. They are now young men and women ready to make their way in the world. They are students, they are athletes, they are musicians. They give speeches, they act, they participate in competitions, and they do so at a very high level. That same herd of cats put together winning seasons and competitions in multiple sports, music, arts, dance, speech, and robotics. Watching them put it together with their hard work, their passion, then willingness to work together as a team has been a wonderful thing to see. And there's a great deal of promise in the students sitting around me. Dealing with students like them makes it easy for me to feel positive about the future. Too often we get caught up in what's wrong with the world, or we become negative about the events of the day. These are challenging times, but if you look at this class, they demonstrate many of the qualities that are right with the world. Page 3. All right. They're already involved in their communities. They volunteer, they have served as missionaries, they donate blood, they are active in FFA and 4-H. They have volunteered at the elementary school to help in classes and at special events like Carnival. They have stayed active in Scouts, even constructing a dog park. Several have tried to help and have helped to coach young athletes. They have worked as CNAs and as such have been on the front lines of this pandemic. They are not even out of high school yet, and we're contributing to their communities and influencing future generations. I had a chance to spend time with some of the seniors in Washington, D.C. They were a great group that were very respectful and cognizant of the place that they were in. I had a special request, and 3 of this group volunteered for it. I had applied for our students to lay a wreath at the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier at Arlington Cemetery, which was accepted. Amy Burns, Bryce Waters, and Cale Yegi carried the wreath in accordance with the Military Honor Guard and laid the wreath with Highland imprinted on it in tribute to those who have served in our armed services. Being aware of the tradition, they performed the same ceremony that kings and queens and foreign leaders and every president since Warren G. Harding has performed. I continue to be very proud of them for doing that, truly. All right. This afternoon, while belatedly, marks culmination of your academic experience within the elementary and secondary school systems. After all those years, 13 years of K-12 to be exact, all 49 of you will start the next chapter of your lives. Some of you will begin your career, and some of you will go off to college. 49 young men and women, 49 different sets and dreams of goals. But before I am done speaking, graduation speeches are required by law to contain some advice. So here are 3 pieces of advice that I would like to pass along. Number 1, make the world a better place just because you're in it. Get involved, continue to be involved, whether it's working with young kids or a church group or helping a neighbor go through some tough times. Some of you have or have already been doing that. Be good citizens. Get out and vote. Don't let others make decisions for you without your input. Seriously, just do it. Number 2, don't let the past be a burden. And this is a weird thing to hear from someone who teaches history, but we all make mistakes. What happens next is the most important. To not have failed or made mistakes means you simply didn't try. Don't be scared. The true definition of failure is only for those who don't learn from their mistakes. Number 3, be happy with your lives. Happiness is something that is found from within. If you are enjoying your work, then you are that much richer. Life is full of second chances. 22 years ago, I was a buyer for an automotive company. I'm very happy to be here instead. My wife is the one that convinced me to dust off my teaching degree and use it, and here I stand. Teaching has been the most rewarding job I have ever had, and I owe that to students like those around me. I would like the class of 2020 to take a second and look at the stands, at the people that are here for you today, and also think about those that would like to be but can't because of crowd limits and health concerns. They want nothing but the best for you and are happy to share in this occasion. Thank them for caring. For those that couldn't make it, save some graduation cake in the freezer for when this social distancing finally ends. Thank your parents for all that they have done. There's an old saying that goes, you spend your years wishing your parents would get off your back, only to realize that they're the only ones who ever really had your back. And the older you get, the more you will appreciate that. Just think about all you've been able to do because of their support. Think about the teachers that have affected your life. Think about the work done by the school administration, including the Board of Education, Mr. Crawford, Mrs. Hazlett, Mr. Ball, and Mr. Ziwiak. It is due to their persistence and desire for you to have this ceremony, despite all its challenges and complications, that we are here today. The collective goal of all those people was to prepare you for this next step. Everyone in this audience wants you to experience success. That success will have to come from within you. It's been a long time since you were dropped off on that first day of kindergarten, carrying your backpack and a sad look in your eye. You're about to enter a very exciting time in your life. Good luck and best of wishes, Husky Senior Class of 2020.
Thank you, Mr. Collins. These graduating seniors seated before us today have met all the requirements set forth by the Iowa State Department of Education and the Highland Board of Education. At this time, we will present each of them with a Highland High School diploma.